The Quantum Rift. Captain Zora Chen stood on the bridge of the CSS Horizon, Earth's most advanced deep space exploration vessel. The ship's quantum drive hummed softly, propelling them through the uncharted regions of the Andromeda Galaxy. It was humanity's first venture this far from home, a testament to their relentless pursuit of knowledge and adventure. "Captain, we're detecting an anomaly ahead," Lieutenant Marcus Reeves reported, his eyes fixed on the sensor readings. "It appears to be some kind of rift in space-time." Zara leaned forward, her dark eyes narrowing as she studied the holographic display. The anomaly pulsed with an otherworldly energy, unlike anything they had encountered before. "Full stop, Lieutenant. Let's approach this carefully," she ordered, her voice calm but tinged with excitement. This was why they had come so far, to discover the unknown. As the horizon slowed to a halt, the rift before them grew more distinct. It shimmered like a tear in the fabric of reality, edges flickering with colors that defied description. The crew watched in awe, their training barely containing their wonder at the sight. "Dr. Emerson, what are we looking at?" Zara asked the ship's chief scientist, a brilliant astrophysicist with a shock of white hair and piercing blue eyes. Dr. Emerson adjusted his glasses, poring over the data streaming in. "It appears to be a stable wormhole, Captain, but its properties are unusual. It's not like any naturally occurring phenomenon we've studied before." Zara nodded, her mind racing with possibilities. Could it be artificial? "That's entirely possible," Dr. Emerson admitted, his voice filled with both excitement and trepidation. "If so, we're looking at technology far beyond our current understanding." Suddenly, the ship's communications officer, Ensign Liana Patel, straightened in her chair. "Captain, I'm picking up a signal. It's coming from inside the rift." The bridge fell silent as Liana worked to decode the transmission. After a few tense moments, a voice crackled through the speakers, alien, yet somehow familiar. "Help, please, anyone." The words were in perfect English, sending a shiver down Zora's spine. She exchanged glances with her crew, each face mirroring her own mix of shock and curiosity. "Can we respond?" Zora asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Liana nodded, her fingers dancing over her console. "Channel open, Captain." Zara took a deep breath, steadying herself. "This is Captain Zara Chen of the Earth vessel CSS Horizon. We've received your distress call. Can you identify yourself?" There was a moment of static, then the voice returned, clearer this time. "Oh, thank the stars. I am Zandri of the Lizarung Collective. Our ship is trapped. The rift, it's collapsing. Please, you must help us." Zara's mind raced. First contact with an alien species, and it was a rescue mission. The implications were staggering, but there was no time to dwell on them. "Kazandri, we hear you. Can you give us more information about your situation? How many are aboard your vessel?" "We are a research team of 12, Sandri responded, her voice strained. "Our ship was damaged as we attempted to study the rift. We can't break free, and our life support is failing. Please, we don't have much time." Zara turned to her crew, seeing the determination in their eyes. They all knew the risks, but also the importance of this moment. Humanity's first interaction with an alien species could shape the future of both their civilizations. "Dr. Emerson, can we safely enter the rift?" Zara asked, her decision already made. The scientist hesitated for a moment, then nodded. "Our quantum drive should allow us to navigate the distortions. But Captain, we have no idea what's on the other side." Zara smiled grimly. "Sometimes, Doctor, we have to take a leap of faith, especially when lives are at stake." She turned to her helmsman. "Lieutenant Reeves, take us in. Nice and easy." As the horizon edged towards the shimmering rift, Zara addressed her crew. "This is what we trained for, people. First contact and a chance to save lives. Let's show the universe what humanity is made of." The ship trembled as it entered the rift, reality twisting around them in a dazzling display of light and energy. For a heart-stopping moment, it felt as if the horizon might tear apart. Then suddenly they were through. Before them floated a sleek silver vessel, clearly of alien design. Its hull was scarred and blackened, tendrils of energy from the rift wrapped around it like cruel tentacles. "My God," Marcus whispered, voicing the awe they all felt. Zara shook off her amazement, focusing on the task at hand. "Xandri, we see you. We're going to attempt to rescue. Can you prepare your crew for emergency evacuation?" "Yes, yes." Xandri's voice was filled with relief. "But please hurry. The rift, it's becoming unstable." As if to emphasize her words, the space around them shuddered, ribbons of energy lashing out wildly. The horizon rocked under the assault, warning klaxons blaring. "Shields at 80% and dropping, Captain," Marcus reported, his fingers flying over his console to make adjustments. Zara gripped her chair, her mind racing through options. They couldn't use a tractor beam. The energy distortions were too severe. That left only one choice, and it was risky as hell. "We're going to have to dock with them," she announced. "Marcus, bring us alongside. Leanna, coordinate with their crew for emergency boarding procedures." As the horizon maneuvered into position, Zara could see the alien crew through the viewports of their ship. They were humanoid, but with iridescent skin and large, almond-shaped eyes. Fear and hope warred on their alien features as the human ship drew near. With a metallic clang that reverberated through both vessels, the horizon locked onto the alien ship. Zara was already moving, racing towards the airlock with a team of engineers and medical staff. As the doors hissed open, Zara found herself face to face with Xandri. The alien was tall and willowy, her skin shimmering with patterns that seemed to shift and change. But it was her eyes that captivated Zara. Deep pools of swirling silver that spoke of intelligence and ancient wisdom. For a moment, human and alien regarded each other in wonder. Then the ship shuddered again, breaking the spell. "Quickly," Zara said, extending her hand. "We need to get you all aboard." Xandri hesitated for just a second before grasping Zara's hand. Her touch was cool and sent a tingle up Zara's arm, like a gentle electric current. "Thank you," Xandri said, her voice filled with genuine gratitude. "We owe you our lives." As the last of the Lizaron crew boarded the horizon, the rift gave a violent lurch. Zara barked orders into her comm unit, and the ship disengaged from the alien vessel just as a massive surge of energy tore it apart. The horizon shot back through the rift, reality bending around them once more. When they emerged on the other side, the rift collapsed in on itself with a silent flash of light, leaving only empty space where it had once been. On the bridge, humans and Lizarans stood side by side, watching the spectacle in awe. Zara turned to Xandri, seeing the mix of sorrow and wonder on the alien's face. "I'm sorry about your ship," Zara said softly. Xandri turned to her, a smile playing on her lips. "Ships can be replaced, Captain Chen. Lives cannot. You have done something extraordinary today. You've not only saved us, but opened the door to a friendship between our peoples." Zara felt the weight of the moment settle on her shoulders. This was more than just a rescue. It was the dawn of a new era for humanity. "Welcome aboard the CSS Horizon, Xandri," she said, extending her hand once more. "I think we have a lot to talk about." As human and alien shook hands, the crew erupted in cheers. The journey that had begun as a mission of exploration had become something far greater, the first chapter in humanity's entrance onto the galactic stage. Little did they know, this was just the beginning of an adventure that would reshape the destiny of two species and challenge the very fabric of the universe itself, the galactic nexus. As the CSS Horizon sailed through the inky blackness of space, Captain Zara Chen found herself in a situation she never could have imagined during her years at the Space Academy. The ship's conference room, usually reserved for mission briefings and strategy sessions, now hosted an interspecies summit that would have been considered science fiction mere days ago. Seated around the holographic table were the key members of both crews, human and Lizoran. The air thrummed with a mix of excitement and tension as two civilizations, separated by light years and eons of independent evolution, attempted to bridge the gap of understanding. Xandri, the Lizoran leader, sat directly across from Zara. Her iridescent skin shimmered with patterns that seemed to reflect her emotions, a mesmerizing display of bioluminescence that had the human crew transfixed. "Perhaps," Xandri began, her melodic voice carrying easily through the room, "we should start with the fundamentals. Our presence here is no accident, Captain Chen." Zara leaned forward, intrigued. "What do you mean?" Xandri's skin pulsed with a deep blue light. "The rift you discovered. We call it a nexus point. It's part of an ancient network that spans the galaxy, created by a species long vanished from the cosmic stage." Dr. Emerson, the Horizon's chief scientist, couldn't contain his excitement. An artificial wormhole network. The energy requirements for such a system would be astronomical. "Indeed," Xandri nodded, her eyes swirling with silver flecks. "We call them the architects. They left behind more than just the nexus points. They seeded the galaxy with life, guided evolution on countless worlds." The implications hit Zara like a gravitational wave. "Are you saying humans and Lizarans share a common ancestor?" "In a manner of speaking, yes." Xandri's skin rippled with patterns of green and gold. "But that's not why we're here. The nexus points have been dormant for millennia, Captain, until now." Lieutenant Marcus Reeves, who had been quietly analyzing data on his tablet, spoke up. "The rift we encountered, it wasn't stable. It was like it was waking up." Xandri's expression grew grave, her skin dimming to a muted purple. "Precisely. Something is reactivating the network, Captain Chen, and not all who sleep should be awakened." The room fell silent as the weight of Xandri's words sank in. Zara felt a chill run down her spine, recognizing the gravity of the situation. This wasn't just about first contact anymore, it was about the fate of the galaxy itself. "What exactly are we dealing with here, Xandri?" Zara asked, her voice steady despite the turmoil of emotions beneath the surface. The Lizoran leader waved her hand over the holographic projector. The room darkened as a three-dimensional map of the galaxy materialized before them, dotted with pulsing lights representing the nexus points. "We believe the architects created the nexus network as a means of travel, yes, but also as a containment system," Xandri explained. "There are entities, ancient, powerful beings that exist beyond the comprehension of our sciences. The architects imprisoned them within the very fabric of space-time, using the nexus points as locks." Dr. Emerson's eyes widened, "And now those locks are opening." Xandri nodded sullenly. "With each nexus point that activates, the barriers weaken. If all the points awaken, then whatever's imprisoned breaks free." Zara finished, the enormity of the threat becoming clear. Marcus leaned forward, his brow furrowed. "But why now? What's causing the network to reactive after all this time?" Xandri's skin swirled with patterns of uncertainty. "We're not sure, but we have a theory." She manipulated the holographic display, zooming in on a particular sector of the galaxy. "There's a nexus point here, in what you call the Cygnus constellation. It's been exhibiting unusual energy spikes, unlike anything we've seen before." Zara studied the map, her tactical mind already formulating plans. "You think this could be the source of the disturbance?" "It's our best lead," Xandri confirmed. "We were on our way to investigate when we became trapped in the rift you rescued us from." The room fell silent as everyone processed the information. The fate of not just their own species, but potentially the entire galaxy, hung in the balance. Zara felt the weight of command pressing down on her shoulders, heavier than ever before. "So," she said, breaking the silence, "what do we do now?" Xandri's eyes met Zara's, a silent understanding passing between them. "Now, Captain Chen, we embark on a journey that will test the limits of both our species. We must reach the Cygnus nexus, uncover the source of the disturbance, and find a way to stop the awakening before it's too late. Zara nodded, a spark of determination igniting within her. The Horizon was built for deep space exploration. We have the technology, the resources, and we have the knowledge of the Nexus network, Sandry added. Together, we stand a chance. As Zara looked around the room, she saw the same resolve reflected in the eyes of both her human crew and their new Lizaran allies. This mission had just become something far greater than anyone could have imagined. "All right," Zara said, standing up. "Let's make history. Plot a course for the Cygnus constellation, maximum quantum drive. We've got a galaxy to save." As the meeting adjourned and the crew rushed to their stations, Zara felt a mix of fear and exhilaration. They were about to embark on a journey beyond the edges of known space, facing threats that defied comprehension. But they would face it together, human and Lizaran, united in a common cause. Little did they know, the true tests of their newfound alliance were yet to come. As the Horizon prepared to make the quantum leap towards Cygnus, ancient forces stirred in the depths of space, awakening to a galaxy changed in their long absence. The race against time had begun, and the fate of all life hung in the balance. Humanity's first steps into the galactic community had become a headlong plunge into a cosmic mystery that would challenge everything they thought they knew about the universe and their place within it. As the stars streaked past the viewports, Zara couldn't shake the feeling that they were hurtling towards a destiny far greater and more terrifying than anything she could have imagined. The adventure that had begun with a simple rescue had now set in motion events that would reshape the very fabric of the cosmos. The journey to the Cygnus Nexus had begun, and with it, a new chapter in the story of life in the universe. Human and Lizaran, standing together against the darkness, a beacon of hope in a galaxy on the brink of chaos. The Quantum Forge. The CSS Horizon hurtled through the quantum slipstream, its advanced drive pushing the boundaries of physics as it carried its diverse crew towards the Cygnus constellation. Inside the ship, an air of anticipation and nervous energy permeated every deck. Captain Zara Chen stood in the newly christened Nexus Lab, a hastily repurposed cargo bay now humming with a mixture of human and Lizaran technology. Here the two species worked in harmony, their combined intellects focused on unraveling the mysteries of the ancient architect network. "Captain, you need to see this," Dr. Emerson called out, his voice tinged with excitement and a hint of fear. Zara made her way to the central holographic display where Dr. Emerson and Sandry stood, their faces illuminated by the swirling data streams. "We've been analyzing the energy signatures from the Cygnus Nexus," Sandry explained, her skin pulsing with rapid patterns of blue and gold. "There's something unprecedented occurring there." Dr. Emerson nodded, adjusting his glasses. "It's as if the Nexus is evolving, changing its fundamental structure on a quantum level." Zara frowned, studying the complex equations and energy readouts floating before her. "What does that mean for us, for the containment of these entities?" Sandry's expression grew grave, her luminescence dimming. "It means, Captain, that the very laws of physics as we understand them may not apply when we reach Cygnus. We're venturing into uncharted territory in every sense of the word." Before Zara could respond, the ship's intercom crackled to life. "Captain to the bridge immediately." Lieutenant Ree's voice was urgent, bordering on panic. Zara sprinted to the bridge, Sandry close behind. As the doors hissed open, she was met with a sight that defied explanation. The view screen showed not the streaking stars of quantum travel, but a swirling vortex of energy, pulsing with colors that hurt the eyes to look upon directly. "Report," Zara barked, sliding into her command chair. Marcus's hands flew over his console. "We've been pulled out of the quantum slipstream, Captain. Some kind of anomaly." "It's a nexus point." Andrew breathed, her eyes wide. "But it's unlike any I've ever seen. It's active." As they watched, tendrils of energy reached out from the vortex, enveloping the horizon. Alarms blared as the ship's systems began to fluctuate wildly. Shields failing, Marcus called out. Hull integrity compromised on decks 3 through 7. Zara gripped her chair, her mind racing. Can we break free? Negative, Captain, the helmsman reported. We're being pulled in. As the horizon was drawn inexorably towards the heart of the anomaly, reality itself seemed to warp and twist around them. The laws of physics bent and broke, leaving the crew in a state of quantum flux. Race for impact, Zara shouted, though she knew no one could truly prepare for what was about to happen. In a blinding flash of light and a sensation that felt like being turned inside out, the horizon plunged into the heart of the active nexus point. When the disorientation passed, Zara opened her eyes to a scene of impossible beauty and terror. The horizon floated in a vast chamber that seemed to exist outside of normal space-time. Streams of pure energy flowed around them, forming intricate patterns that spoke of mathematical perfections beyond human comprehension. Where are we? Marcus whispered, his voice filled with awe. Sandri moved to the center of the bridge, her skin glowing with an intensity that matched their surroundings. This is the Quantum Forge, she said, her voice resonating with newfound power. The birthplace of the Nexus Network and the prison of the Old Ones. As if in response to her words, a deep, otherworldly thrumming filled the air. The energy streams coalesced, forming shapes that defied Euclidean geometry. And there, emerging from the chaos, were beings of pure thought and energy, the architects themselves. Greetings, children of our seeding, a chorus of voices echoed in their minds. You have come at the hour of greatest need. Zara stepped forward, her heart pounding but her voice steady. We've come seeking answers. The Nexus Network is awakening, threatening to release ancient horrors upon the galaxy. The architect beings pulsed with acknowledgement. The old ones stir in their slumber, drawn by the evolution of consciousness across the cosmos. Your journey here was no accident, but the culmination of eons of careful guidance. Images flooded the minds of the crew, the history of a galaxy, the rise and fall of countless civilizations, the constant battle to keep the old ones contained. And through it all, the subtle influence of the architects, guiding life towards this very moment. But why us? Zara asked, overwhelmed by the cosmic scale of events unfolding around them. Why now? The architect's form shifted, encompassing the entire chamber. Because you, humans and Lizarans united, represent a new hope. Your alliance, forged in the fires of adversity, carries within it the potential to succeed where we could not. Andri stepped forward, standing beside Zara. What must we do? You must become more than you are, the architects intoned. Here, in the Quantum Forge, you will be remade. Your ship, your very beings, will be infused with the power of the Nexus itself. Only then will you stand a chance against the awakening darkness. Zara exchanged glances with her crew and their Lizoran allies. The choice before them was monumental, to be transformed into something beyond human or Lizoran, to take on a responsibility vast beyond imagining. We accept, Zara said, her voice firm. She felt rather than saw the nods of agreement from those around her. The chamber erupted with blinding light as the energy of the Quantum Forge surged towards them. Zara felt herself being unmade and remade, her consciousness expanding to encompass realities she never knew existed. When the light faded, the horizon and its crew were forever changed. The ship pulsed with living energy, its hull now an iridescent marvel that shifted and adapted at will. The crew found themselves linked on a fundamental level, their minds connected to the ship and to each other in ways that transcended normal communication. You are now guardians of the Nexus, the architects proclaimed. The fate of all life in the galaxy rests in your hands. Go forth, find the source of the awakening, and seal the breaches before the old ones fully stir. As quickly as it had begun, their encounter in the Quantum Forge came to an end. The horizon was propelled back into normal space, emerging near the Cygnus Nexus. But now they were far more than the explorers who had started this journey. Zara looked at her transformed crew, seeing the same mix of wonder and determination in their eyes that she felt herself. They were no longer just human or Lissoran. They were something new, something that bridged the gap between mortal and cosmic. "Well," she said, a smile playing on her lips, "I'd say our mission parameters have changed quite a bit." As the Horizon set course for the heart of the disturbance, its crew knew that they were embarking on a quest that would determine the fate of not just their own species or galaxy, but of all existence. The true battle was about to begin, and the newly forged guardians of the Nexus were ready to face whatever horrors awaited them in the depths of space. The journey that had begun with a simple rescue had become a saga of cosmic proportions, with the very fabric of reality hanging in the balance. And at the center of it all, a group of beings who had once been ordinary explorers, now transformed into the universe's last, best hope for survival. Echoes of eternity. The CSS Horizon, now a living ship of quantum energy, glided through the star-studded expanse of the Cygnus constellation. Its crew, forever changed by their experience in the quantum forge, worked in perfect harmony, their thoughts intertwined with the ship's consciousness. Captain Zara Chen stood at the helm, her form shimmering with iridescent energy. The transformation had enhanced her already keen tactical mind, allowing her to perceive multiple dimensions of space-time simultaneously. "We're approaching the epicenter of the disturbance," Zara announced, her voice resonating with newfound power. "Prepare for temporal displacement." As if on cue, the fabric of reality around the horizon began to ripple and tear. The ship plunged through a cascading series of time-space fractures, each one revealing glimpses of different eras and alternate realities. "By the architects," Sandri gasped, her luminescent form pulsing with awe and trepidation. "The temporal barriers are collapsing. The Old One's influence is stronger than we anticipated." Dr. Emerson, now a being of pure energy and intellect, projected his thoughts to the crew. "We're witnessing the unraveling of causality itself. If we don't contain this, the entire universe could be rewritten." The horizon emerged from the temporal maelstrom into a pocket of calm space. Before them loomed a massive structure that defied comprehension, the Cygnus Nexus. It was a colossal, multi-dimensional construct that seemed to exist in several realities at once, its form constantly shifting and realigning. Life signs detected, Lieutenant Rees reported, his consciousness merged with the ship's sensors. "But they're like nothing we've ever encountered." Zara focused her enhanced perception on the Nexus. What she saw chilled her to her core. Vast, unknowable entities stirred within the structure, their very existence an affront to the laws of physics. "The Old Ones," she whispered, "they're awakening." Suddenly, a piercing psychic scream tore through their minds. The crew reeled as visions of cosmic horror flooded their consciousness, glimpses of realities where time flowed backwards, where cause and effect were meaningless, where the very concept of existence was alien and terrifying. "We have to act now," Sandri cried out, her form flickering as she struggled to maintain coherence against the psychic onslaught. Zara steeled herself, drawing upon the power granted to her by the architects. "Initiate Protocol Omega," she commanded. "We're going in." The horizon surged forward, its quantum-infused hull morphing and adapting as it approached the Nexus. Tendrils of eldritch energy lashed out at the ship, but the crew's combined will held strong, deflecting the attacks. As they penetrated the outer layers of the Nexus, reality itself began to fragment around them. The ship's interior shifted and warped, corridors leading to impossible spaces and rooms that existed in multiple time periods simultaneously. "We need to reach the central chamber," Sandri urged, her thoughts merging with the ship's navigation systems. "That's where the seal is weakest." The journey through the Nexus was a nightmare of non-Euclidean geometry and paradoxical physics. The crew fought not just against the defenses of the structure, but against the very nature of a universe gone mad. Finally, they breached the central chamber, a vast, swirling vortex of primordial energy. At its heart, a tear in the fabric of reality pulsed ominously, growing larger with each passing moment. The breach, Dr. Emerson observed. It's a direct gateway to the realm of the Old Ones. As they watched, tentacles of impossible geometry began to emerge from the tier, bringing with them whispers of madness and despair. "We have to seal it," Zara declared, her voice unwavering despite the cosmic horror before them. "Everyone, focus your energy. Remember what the architects taught us in the Quantum Forge." The crew of the Horizon joined their minds and powers, forming a unified consciousness that rivaled the Old Ones in its complexity. They began to weave a new reality, using the quantum energy that now flowed through their veins. But the Old Ones fought back. Visions of alternate timelines assaulted the crew, worlds where they had failed, where the universe had fallen to chaos, where they had never existed at all. "Don't let them break your focus," Zara shouted, her form blazing with determination. "We are the guardians of the Nexus. This is our purpose." With a supreme effort of will, the unified consciousness of the Horizon's crew pushed back against the encroaching madness. They rewove the fabric of space-time, sealing the breach with a new pattern of reality, one that could withstand the pressures of the Old One's realm. As the last strands of the new seal fell into place, a shockwave of quantum energy exploded outward from the Nexus. The Horizon was catapulted back into normal space, its crew mentally and physically exhausted from their ordeal. Zara opened her eyes, her form slowly solidifying back into a semblance of her human self. Around her, the crew was doing the same, their expressions a mix of relief, awe, and lingering fear. Did we do it?" Marcus asked, his voice hoarse. Dr. Emerson consulted the ship's sensors, which were once again functioning within the parameters of known physics. "The breach is sealed," he confirmed. "The Old Ones have been contained, for now." A collective sigh of relief washed over the bridge. They had faced the unimaginable and emerged victorious, forever changed but unbroken. Sandri approached Zara, her form shimmering as it settled back into its Lizoran appearance. "This was only the beginning," she said softly. "The architects chose us for a reason. There will be other breaches, other battles." Zara nodded, feeling the weight of their new responsibility settling on her shoulders. "Then we'll face them together," she declared. "Not as humans or Lizarans, but as guardians of the Nexus." As the Horizon set a course away from the Cygnus constellation, its crew knew that they were embarking on a new chapter in their journey. They were no longer merely explorers or diplomats. They were the protectors of reality itself, armed with powers beyond mortal comprehension and united in a cause that transcended species or individual worlds. The universe had revealed itself to be far stranger and more perilous than they had ever imagined. But with their newfound abilities and unbreakable bond, the crew of the Horizon stood ready to face whatever cosmic horrors awaited them in the vast, uncharted realms of existence. As they soared through the star-studded expanse, Zara couldn't help but smile. Their adventure had only just begun, and the echoes of eternity beckoned them onward, into a future filled with infinite possibilities and challenges beyond imagination. The Quantum Consciousness Collective. As the CSS Horizon glided through the cosmos, its quantum-infused hull shimmering with otherworldly energy, the crew found themselves grappling with their newfound abilities and the weight of their cosmic responsibility. Captain Zara Chen stood at the ship's panoramic viewport, her form flickering between human and pure energy as she contemplated their next move. "Captain," Xandri's melodious voice interrupted Zara's thoughts. "We're detecting an unusual quantum signature. It's calling to us." Zara turned, her eyes now swirling pools of starlight. "Show me." A holographic display materialized in the center of the bridge, depicting a massive stellar nursery teeming with newborn stars. At its heart pulsed a nexus of pure thought and energy, a cosmic consciousness that defied conventional understanding. "It's a quantum consciousness collective," Dr. Emerson explained, his form shimmering with excitement. "A gestalt entity composed of billions of interconnected minds. I've only read theories about such beings." Lieutenant Reeves, his consciousness now seamlessly integrated with the ship's systems, chimed in. "Captain, the collective is transmitting a message. It's inviting us to join them. Zara's brow furrowed. Join them. What does that mean exactly? Before anyone could respond, the horizon was enveloped in a dazzling array of lights. The crew felt their minds expanding, stretching across vast distances of space and time. In an instant, they found themselves immersed in the collective's shared consciousness. Images and emotions flooded their senses: the birth of stars, the death of galaxies, the intricate dance of subatomic particles. They experienced countless lifetimes in the span of heartbeats, their understanding of the universe expanding exponentially. Welcome, guardians of the Nexus. A chorus of billions of voices resonated in their minds. We have awaited your arrival for eons. Zara, maintaining her individuality within the vast sea of consciousness, projected her thoughts. You knew we were coming. How? The collective's response came not in words, but in a series of vivid impressions. They saw the architect's grand design unfolding across billions of years, the seeding of life, the guidance of evolution, all leading to this moment. You are the culmination of the architect's work, the collective explained. The bridge between the physical and the quantum realms, but your transformation is not yet complete. Sandri's essence pulsed with curiosity. What do you mean? How can we be more than what the quantum forge has already made us? In response, the collective opened their shared knowledge to the crew. They saw the true nature of reality, a multiverse of infinite possibilities, all interconnected by the quantum foam of existence. They glimpsed the old ones not as mere entities, but as cosmic algorithms gone rogue, threatening to rewrite the very code of reality. To truly become guardians of the Nexus, the collective intoned, you must transcend the limitations of individual consciousness. You must become one with the quantum fabric of the universe itself. The implications were staggering. To merge with the collective would mean losing their individual identities, becoming part of something vastly greater than themselves. But it would also grant them the power to safeguard reality on a scale they could scarcely imagine. Zara felt the weight of the decision pressing upon her. She turned her attention to her crew, feeling their thoughts and emotions as clearly as her own. There was fear, yes, but also a sense of purpose and determination. This is why we were chosen, Marcus thought, his essence resolute. To protect not just our own species or galaxy, but all of existence. Dr. Emerson's consciousness pulsed with scientific curiosity and wonder. Think of all we could learn, all we could accomplish with this level of understanding. Sandri's thoughts were tinged with both excitement and trepidation. Our individual journeys would end, but our collective adventure would only be beginning. As Zara considered their options, a disturbance rippled through the collective. Images of chaos and destruction flashed through their shared consciousness. More breaches opening across the multiverse, old ones slipping through the cracks in reality. Time grows short, the collective warned. The choice is yours, guardians, but know that the fate of all existence hangs in the balance. Zara took a deep breath, feeling the enormity of the moment. This was far beyond anything she had trained for, beyond anything she could have imagined when she first took command of the horizon. But as she looked at her crew, human and Lissaran alike, she saw in them the same resolve she felt in her own heart. We accept, Zara declared, her voice echoing across the vast expanse of the collective's consciousness. We will join you to protect the multiverse and all who dwell within it. With those words, the barriers between individual and collective consciousness began to dissolve. Zara felt her sense of self expanding, merging with the minds of her crew and the billions of entities that made up the collective. The CSS horizon itself transformed, its physical form dissipating into pure energy as it became one with the cosmic nursery. The crew's consciousnesses spread across the stars, their understanding and perception growing to encompass entire galaxies. As the merging neared completion, Zara experienced one final moment of individual awareness. She saw the vastness of the multiverse spread out before her, felt the weight of their new responsibility settling upon their collective consciousness. They were no longer merely guardians of the Nexus, they had become the very fabric of reality itself, the first and last line of defense against the encroaching chaos of the old ones. With a final surge of energy, the transformation was complete. The beings that had once been Captain Zara Chen and her crew now existed as an integral part of the universe, their consciousnesses woven into the quantum foam of existence. Together, they turned their vast, collective attention to the task at hand. Across the multiverse, breaches were forming, reality fraying at the edges as the old ones sought to break through. But now, armed with the power and knowledge of the Quantum Consciousness Collective, they were ready to face the coming storm. As one, they reached out across time and space, their combined will reshaping the very foundations of reality. The battle for existence had begun, and the fate of all possible worlds now rested in their hands. The adventure that had started with a simple rescue mission had transformed into a cosmic odyssey beyond imagination. And though their individual selves were now part of a greater whole, the spirit of exploration, courage, and unity that had defined the crew of the Horizon lived on, echoing across the infinite expanse of the multiverse.